Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and today I want to talk to you about how I started my very first business completely from scratch, all by myself, and how much I love it. For those of you who don't know me, I own my own candle business called Savage Boutique. It's a brand new company that I just started a few months ago. It's been in the works for almost 6 years. And I say 6 years because about 6 years ago is when I started coming up with these ideas that I knew I wanted to start my own boutique. I knew that I wanted to make something to bring happiness to your life, something that I enjoyed making just as much as you enjoyed purchasing and using every single day. I also did decide that I wanted to make candles. It's just been something that I couldn't get out of my mind. 3 years ago, I was shopping at Hobby Lobby and I'm walking down the Hobby Lobby aisles, and of course you can't help but get inspired by being there. And I see this pot with like white powder stuff, and I realized that it's a candle making kit, and so I bought it and I was like, this is gonna be great. It's 20 bucks. You got everything that you needed to make 3 little tea light candles. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna see if I like it. So I bought it, and you know what I did? I put it on my counter and did nothing with them. So now fast forward to me having this girlfriend that lived in the same building as me, and we were just talking about like things that we wanted to do and dreams and aspirations and stuff. And I remember telling her that I wanted to make candles. She was like, oh my god, you should. I know somebody that does and she loves it. And I was like, really? So now it's becoming something that's a little more real for me to be able to do, right? I'm like, oh my god, yeah. And I start building this business plan, start designing out like what I want the candles to be in, how I'm gonna do it, how many I need to make in order to make enough money to pay for my rent, in order to make enough money to survive, in order to how much I'm gonna sell everything for. And I'm coming up with all these ideas, and it was great, but nothing happened. Which is fine, because that's normal. Now I have this full-blown idea of what I want to do. Create this shop and start my own business. And I haven't done anything with it. I wasn't happy. I knew I wanted to do something different. Start doing a network marketing company just to like keep my toes wet and making sure that I am like still going behind the scene. And this is last year. This is now 5 years, 5.5 years later from me sparking this idea. I decided to kind of just do it. I had no reason not to. I was working completely for myself. Reasons did I have not to try this? Now to the point how I actually got started. This is something that I think everybody goes through. You know, that moment of, wow, I really want to do this. This is a great idea. I definitely have the drive for it. I want to do it. Let me do it. Let me figure out how to do this. And I think that we also all go through this moment of like, so we're at this peak, we got this idea, and what do we do with this idea? Crap, I don't know what to do with this idea. And now this energy that we just built is like, this flying down, and then the idea just kind of gets buried. You just keep living your life because it's easier. And I decided I didn't want it to be easier for me anymore. There's gonna be a coffee break in every single one of my videos, I promise. So I'm sitting in this gorgeous new house that my boyfriend and I and another couple decide to rent. And it's huge. It's like 3,000 square feet, and there's all this room in the world. It's got a great view. You know, I'm network marketing. I'm meeting all these new people, all these new clients. I just landed this awesome big client that pretty much can pay all my bills, just them alone. And that doesn't really happen for a freelance graphic designer right away. But all these things are happening, and I'm like on this high. And as my sister-in-law would say, I'm on a new frequency where everything's just fitting and everything is just working. And I took that, and rather than, you know, mellowing out in it and really just like allowing myself to only enjoy the moment, I decided to feed that energy and start doing stuff that I've been wanting to do for so long. So the first thing that I did was my roommates and us, we start drinking all this wine. And I say that because Savage Boutique is a candle business that I use wine bottles and I recycle it, and I turn those recycled wine bottles into candles. So we start drinking wine. We're buying these big, hefty wine bottles that are like this big, and each of us get 2 glasses out of it, and it's great. And we're drinking wine like once or twice a week, and they're helping me save all these wine bottles. All my friends are saving wine bottles. Now I have about 15 to 20 wine bottles that we drink in the course of months. And weird, in the course of months. Anyways, so, you know, I have all these empty wine bottles that we recycled. Now I have to learn how to cut it. So I go on YouTube, learned how to cut glass, learned 3 different ways to cut glass. One with string, one by hand, one with like this huge machine that clearly I can't afford. I watched these videos, I watched these tutorials, and I did it. I took my wine bottles and I cut them. I loved it. I mean, the process kind of sucked because I would get all these like cuts on my hands, but I loved what I was doing. I loved that I was like on this next step of my journey. So now I'm like, awesome. And I'm on this high and I continue these steps. I go online and I look up all these different companies that have similar ethics as I do, and I order all natural soy wax, I order all natural wicks, I order all natural fragrances, I'm ordering all natural essential oils, and now I'm just like waiting for everything to come in, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. I'm getting so excited and boiling up, and I'm still up here and I'm like, yes, this is freaking awesome. And I go and I make my first candle. I do essential oils. Super freaking hard to make a candle with essential oils and soy wax. So I make my first candle and I measured everything out and everything's going great, and there's no fragrance. I'm like, oh wow. So me being up here is starting to go down here. Once you start going down, it's really hard to get back up, but you just have to do it. It's gonna be a long video. Yes, my company is really new, but it had months of practice before I opened up my business. I say that because I did. I tested so many different style combinations between the wax and the essential oil. If you think that you can make candles, great, go for it. Try it. Just remember, don't give up, because as easy as a lot of people think it is, it's really not. It's time consuming. So it's got to be something that you really enjoy. And when I'm down here, from up here, I'm thinking to myself, well, do I really like this? Do I really want to do this? And the answer I kept giving myself was fuck yes. And I just kept pursuing my dreams. And that's something that no one really talks about. No one talks about that part where you fail before you succeed. No one really goes into details about like, oh, I'm doing really bad, I'm not learning, I'm not getting good. No one talks about that, and that's something that I really want to bring up and talk to you guys about, because you will fail and you will constantly fail. Life is all about failing. If we only succeeded in life, where would this like pride and this empowerment come from? It would come from nothing, and nothing comes from nothing. So I don't know, what rant am I on right now? I'm down here and I said, F you, I'm not giving up, and I kept going. So now I'm testing out all these different candle combinations, and I'm, continuing to cut glass. I'm looking into people that are trying to get rid of their recycled wine bottles. I'm reaching out to my neighbors, family, friends, and asking them if they can save all these wine bottles for me. And I'm getting 1 or 2 here and there. Sometimes I would get 15, sometimes I would get 30, and I'm purchasing these recycled wine bottles from people I don't know as well. And I still haven't sold anything yet, and I'm totally okay with that. I think that's what kept me going, because I'm spending my money to try and get to that next step. I knew I needed to get into a craft show. I kept telling myself I was going to do all these craft shows, and I was going to do this and I was going to do that, and trying to feed my confidence and trying to feed this, momentum that I had to try and stay on that frequency that I was at. I could feel myself going down and going up and going down, and I finally was just like, you know what? I turned to my fiance now. I was like, I'm gonna sign up for a craft show. He was like, let's do it. Sign up. We'll do it. Just jump in. And at this point, I had been like, my candles had pretty much been perfected. There was just a few kinks that needed to be figured out. I signed up for my first craft show. Now I have a deadline. I have a deadline to get on Etsy, to announce my own business, make sure all the packaging and the candles were made. I have a deadline to make a crap ton of candles to be able to sell them at the craft show. I have a deadline. I don't know about you, but I apparently do great on deadlines, because all of a sudden everything just started clicking, and I was like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. I'm watching more YouTube videos all about empowering yourself. A few of them are Marie Forleo. She's great. She is unknowingly one of my life coaches. Femhead, she's awesome, from Iowa, I believe, who talks all about fem care. She also talks about how she started her business, and she gives great tips and advice. Eamon and Beck, their channel is great. They own their own tea shop. It's called Chihuahua. They're from Canada, and they live out of a van while owning their own company, and they're just super inspiring. So I'm watching all these like really inspiring people doing what I want to do. In a sense, I'm like keeping this momentum going, and I refuse to give up, and I'm becoming obsessed with this idea of following through with my dreams. So I start making all these candles, and at this point I had perfected my essential oil blends, which is super hard to do but super rewarding. The craft show is coming up. I'm finally on Etsy. I think I have 5 products on Etsy at this point, but hey, I'm on it. I announced to my Facebook friends, family, and all the strangers I don't really know on there. I announced on Instagram I'm doing a craft show. I started my own Instagram account, The Savage Boutique, and feeling great. crate and I get to this craft show and I'm nervous. And I have like 1,000 candles that I made in order to be sold. There are so many bumps and bruises on the way, and now I'm freaking out. I barely can sleep. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep that night. Wake up and drive to Fremd High School, which that's where the craft show was. Get there and I'm like, oh my God, we have so much stuff that we have to unload. And then things just started falling into place. There were so many volunteers to help you unload your car. Unloading was like a breeze. It happened in like 3 minutes. They get everything onto the second floor, and now I have to set everything up. It's coming close to 9 o'clock where they're gonna open the doors for everybody to come in. People started walking in. My friend Taylor greets me with a coffee. Everything's just set up. Not anything like I thought it was going to be, but perfectly the way it needed to be. I have like a sniff station. I have all of my candles nicely lined up. People loved my station. They loved my candles. They were complimenting everything. I think within like the first 30 minutes, I got lucky enough to make my money back, paying to be a part of the show. All the support from friends and family. I had so much support from people I've never met before. Just to see that reaction of people, to know that my 6-year-old dream and my 7-month process of trying to figure everything out and make things work paid off. And there's so many different things that I learned I needed to do for my company. This is how I got started. I got started just like you, just like everybody else. It was with a dream, and it was with a goal that you never accomplished and that you kept putting on the back burners. And let me just tell you, it's worth it. When you are trying to accomplish this goal or dream that you have had and that you know that you love, it is totally worth it. This is something that I've been trying to do for so long, and between signing up for my first craft show and giving myself a deadline, to watching YouTubers give advice on how they started, to looking up like the how-tos of everything, you know, I really think that I could have done it without them, and I could have done it without watching them, but I also feel like they gave me this empowerment that they didn't even know they had control over. Oh, wow, I must have scratched. And they gave me this strength, this extra strength and support from a distance, and by them continuing their YouTube channels and building their businesses and watching them succeed has been freaking phenomenal, which is part of the reason why I wanted to start my own YouTube channel, because I do own a different kind of business than most of the people that I watch and most of the people that gave me this blind support. And the goal with my YouTube channel is I can help people like me get to a successful moment in their life. That's something that they can be proud of, and I want to see you guys succeed. And like I want to help you guys by answering questions, by being as raw as I possibly can about how I started my business, all the fears that I had, how long it took me to get my butt in gear and get going with my business. I also want to share some tips and tricks from like the 8 years of marketing that I have under my belt, share like new experiences that I get to experience with my company to try and keep you guys motivated into doing what you want to do and get you successful. This is how I started. And oh wow, this is really bad. Today was a rant of how I started. So my question for you today: what are some of your stories of like how you started? Do you have a similar story to mine where you had this 6-year goal that came to life within the last 6 months? Leave your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button to show me this is something you guys want more of. Whether you do or you don't, honestly, I'm gonna keep doing it because it's fun. I really do enjoy doing this. So thanks for watching my video, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.